China has blocked a proposal by India and the US to designate top Pakistan-based terrorist Sajid Mir as an international terrorist. Mir is India's most wanted terrorist and the main handler of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Beijing has blocked the motion on the Lashkar chief commander's UN terror designation after Islamabad detained and sentenced him for 15 years under terror financing charges last year in June.
तो जो जहाँ पे आपको मूवमेंट नजर आती है, बंदा की छत पे चल रहा है, कोई आ रहा है जा रहा है, उसको फायर ठोको, उसे नहीं पता यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है। इंशाल्लाह। तो जो जहाँ पे आपको मूवमेंट नजर आती है, बंदा की छत पे चल रहा है, कोई आ रहा है जा रहा है, उसको फायर ठोको, उसे नहीं पता यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है। इंशाल्लाह।
China has constantly defended its client state Pakistan in the United Nations. The country, being the close ally of Islamabad, has always created hurdles for listing non-Pakistani terrorists. Recently, Beijing blocked a motion by India and the US to designate Pakistan terrorist Sajid Mir as the global terrorist under the 1267 Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee for the second time. In September last year, China had put on hold a similar proposal against Mir at the UN. Mir is India's most wanted terrorist and the main handler of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks which shook the entire world. China has blocked the proposal on the Lashkar chief commander's UN terror designation after Islamabad detained and sentenced him for 15 years under terror financing charges last year. And as usual, India has given a befitting reply to Beijing. It has slammed China's refusal to list the LAT terrorist. In a sharply worded statement, Prakash Gupta, Joint Secretary at India's permanent mission in New York, asserted that if efforts to ban terrorists fail because of petty geopolitical interests, then the UN lacks the actual political will to combat the threat of terrorism.
He was listed as a proscribed terrorist under the national laws of India. He was proscribed under the laws of the United States, this host country, and of several other countries globally, many of whose nationals lost their lives. But when the proposal for listing him did not go through the Security Council sanctions regime, we had strong reasons to believe that something was genuinely wrong in the global sanctions regime, as manifested in the Security Council. If we cannot get established terrorists who have been proscribed across global landscapes listed under the Security Council architecture for pure geopolitical interests, then we really do not have the genuine political will needed to sincerely fight this challenge of terrorism.
China, going on by past pattern, defends its actions as so-called technical objections based on procedural loopholes. However, it is an open secret that they have a clear pattern of protecting Pakistan internationally. Last year in June, India and the US jointly proposed the listing of Abdul Rahman Makki, a close aide and brother-in-law of LAT founder Hafiz Saeed, at the UN Security Council. Both countries had already declared Makki as a terrorist under domestic laws, and the US has offered a bounty of $2 million for him. But China blocked India's move at the UN Security Council to shield Makki as a global terrorist by placing a technical hold on the proposal. China, to protect their favorite colony Pakistan, has always kept doing this. It did the same thing with Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar. New Delhi proposed sanctioning Masood Azhar in the year 2009, but it finally happened almost 10 years later in 2019. And during this time, Beijing kept blocking India's proposal. It delayed it as much as possible, and now China is doing this all over again, this time with Sajid Mir.
China has been repeatedly shielding Pakistan, especially Pakistan-backed terrorists, from being listed as a global terrorist. What is new in this case is that this was a proposal that was basically moved by the United States. On the evidence that the FBI had, the United States moved this proposal, which was of course backed by India, and it is a United States proposal that China basically has struck down. Now there are several things out here. Right now, United States has taken a particular stance on Taiwan which China does not like. But this is entirely inconsistent with China's stand that it uses Pakistan as its proxy when it comes to disbalancing India, and indeed using terrorism as a tool to disbalance democracies, be it India, be it Western Europe, be it the United States.
China has been almost constant in its diplomatic backing for Pakistan at the United Nations. Pakistan has likewise given up its power and region in order to display its loyalty to Beijing. However, it appears that Pakistan and China's partnership is primarily motivated by a desire to disrupt their common rival, India. While Beijing tries to counter India by inflaming tensions in the region, Pakistan and its intelligence agency, the ISI, propagate falsehoods against New Delhi. Pakistan continues to repeat its own faulty narrative about Kashmir in order to shift attention away from the reality in their country and their own actions. Blinded by Chinese promises of economic success and friendship, Pakistan's current administration is squandering its chances of ever becoming independent. Pakistan can continue to disregard its people's needs. India is going to continue prospering and will strive to keep Pakistan and China accountable on a global scale.